Hey guys, Alex here from MovieBuzzers.com, finally bringing you my top 10 movies of 2010. Now, the criteria that I had was that the film had to be released in 2010. There are certain films that got an American release in 2010, but had their release some point in 2009, which is so I'm not going to count those. Otherwise, the French film A Prophet, the prison drama, would be number one on my list, hands down. So, it's the one criteria. The second criteria is that the film had to be of substantial quality. There are movies that I find to be extremely entertaining and may have been number one on my top 10 most entertaining, but because I know they're not necessarily overall good quality, they can't make this list. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the movie list, and then you can keep watching to learn a little bit more about the film and why it's in that particular order. Number 10 is Black Swan. Number 9 is Echoes of the Rainbow. Number 8 is The Town. Number 7, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Number 6, The Disappearance of Alice Creed. The next 5 are in no particular order, but for the purposes of the list, they are. Number 5 is The Social Network. Number 4 is Inception. Number 3 is Kick-Ass. Number 2 is 127 Hours. And number 1 is Toy Story 3. So, I'm going to start off with my honorable mentions and then give you the rundown. So, I'm going to say A Prophet just because it was best prison drama I've seen since Shawshank Redemption. Another honorable mention is Animal Kingdom, an Australian crime drama that I just recently watched, and although slow, it was extremely well done and kept me guessing, kept me thinking the entire time, which is what I really like in a movie. And the third honorable mention is The King's Speech. I had it on my top 10 list and I removed it because to me it didn't deserve to be on my it wasn't my top 10. If it was an 11, it would sit there, but I can't say though I can't say enough how good Colin Firth and Geoffrey Rush were. They were unbelievable, and it is a fantastic movie that I think everyone should see, but for me it just didn't feel right. Remember, this list is meant to be debated, and I didn't really want to put them in any specific order, the following films, but to make life easier, I did. So, at number 10 is Black Swan, directed by Darren Aronofsky, starring Mila Kunis, Vincent Cassel, and Natalie Portman. Outstanding performances by all, specifically Natalie Portman. But this visual, psychotic, sexual thriller blew my mind. My palms were sweating. The last 30 minutes, my mouth was open the entire time. Maybe it was the shock value that really did me in with this movie, but I don't know. I guess I got sucked in, and I couldn't resist it. I don't know. Darren Aronofsky's follow-up to The Wrestler just blew me away, and that's why it sits at number 10. I had it at 4, but because I realized that maybe there's certain aspects that could be flawed, I don't know. Black Swan's number 10. Number 9 is a Hong Kong film called Echoes of the Rainbow, starring Simon Yam and Arif Lee. And Simon Yam is a legend in the Asian film industry. Arif Lee is a newcomer, and he's playing Bruce Lee in a new biopic. But this film follows director Alex Law's childhood. It's a semi-autobiographical, and it's about his life growing up in the 1960s in urban Hong Kong. And him and his brother, and this is I saw this at the New York Asian Film Festival, and it was one of the most touching films for me personally. I'm not a huge drama person. I'm not a huge, really indie, almost consistently sad type of a movie, but I loved Echoes of the Rainbow. It was very funny, but the story was so well done, and the whole urban setting of 1960s Hong Kong was so beautiful. It was really hard not to love this movie. Definitely one of my favorites, Echoes of the Rainbow. Number 8, The Town. Ben Affleck has solidified himself as an excellent director, if you ask me. The film stars him and Jeremy Renner and Blake Lively in a movie about bank robberies, bank heists. And you don't always find really good heist movies. Like, you had Takers, but when you compare that to The Town, oh my god, blows it out of the water. The Town, great movie, sits at number 8 on my list. Number 7, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Edgar Wright's return to the screen. The same man that brought us Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz brings us Scott Pilgrim, an adaptation of a comic book. And it is fast-paced, it's funny, it's witty, and even though it has Michael Cera, who I really can't stand, he was awesome in this. What really caught me, though, in this movie was all the pop culture references and the speed of it and how much fun it was to watch. It's pretty much a geek's wet dream, so if you have any sort of geekiness in you, you're going to love this. Number 6, one of my personal favorites of this year, The Disappearance of Alice Krige, starring Gemma Arterton, Martin Compston, and Eddie Marsan. Now, the film is a simple movie, and that's why I like it. It only had 3 characters in it the entire time, and it's about creating the perfect kidnapping / ransom scheme, and then how it can go wrong with only 3 people. The story was so well written that Jay Blakeson did a great job directing this film, making it one complete and cool independent flick. Definitely one of my favorites of 2010. Such a neat movie. There are so many little twists in it that just make you so happy. Next is, so the next 5, I didn't want to put in any specific order, but I did simply for the fact of constructing this list. So keep that in mind. 5, The Social Network. Jesse Eisenberg, Andrew Garfield, directed by David Fincher, the man that brought you Fight Club. Aaron Sorkin's script, adaptation of both Trials and of The Accidental Billionaires, was phenomenal. Eisenberg's acting, top-notch, even though I'm pretty sure he plays the same character every time. This movie really gives you, at least my generation, a great look at how Facebook was founded, and gives us, you know, a look at the psyche of Mark Zuckerberg and how him and Eduardo, played by Andrew Garfield, came to stumble upon this treasure trove when they began the startup at Harvard. Next is Inception. DiCaprio, Jason Gordon-Levitt, Ellen Page, directed by Christopher Nolan. I mean, this film was just, not only was it huge in scope, the plot was so complex at times. I saw the movie twice in theaters, and it blew my mind away. I'm sure it blew a lot of other people's minds. There were definitely, you know, faults for some people, but you know what? Christopher Nolan is the shit. I loved the movie. I thought it was mind-bending, to say the least. That sits at number 4. Number 3, Kick-Ass. Another one of my personal favorites this year. Directed by Matthew Vaughn. It stars people that no one really knew except for Nicolas Cage and Mark Strong. And this movie, not only was it a lot of fun to watch, it was dirty, it was perfectly executed, and it also had a quality story. And you know what? Vaughn followed the story arc. He knew exactly what the audience wanted, how to reflect it on screen from the comic book which it was adapted from, and did a superb job. And you know, it's not often you get to see, you know, like a 12-year-old or 9-year-old calling adults pussies and then killing them. It was a lot of fun, and it had a great story. So I loved Kick-Ass. Sits there at 3. Number 2, 127 Hours, starring James Franco, directed by Danny Boyle, the guy that brought us Slumdog Millionaire. The film was about Aaron Ralston, who's the mountain climber that got stuck in a canyon and had to amputate his arm if he wanted to live. He spent 127 hours down there stuck, amputated it, living, you know, fantastically now. But this movie was so well done. If you want to see excellent camera work, or, you know, directing at its finest, watch 127 Hours. Danny Boyle is a master of lighting, if you ask me, and the way he made this film and put it together with James Franco's unbelievable acting, definitely Oscar-nominated worthy. This is a great movie to watch, and I highly suggest you do check it out. What I have down at number 1 is an all-time favorite, Toy Story 3. I think everyone loved Toy Story 3. It's the best reviewed movie of 2010. I think it's one of the most successful animated features ever made. And personal reasons, you know, I grew up with these characters, so it was nice to have some closure to Andy and his toys. So that's my top 10. I hope you guys debate it. I hope you guys consider seeing some of the movies if you haven't seen any of them. I want to wish you all a Happy New Year, and Let's get some new great movies from 2011. This is Alex from MovieBuzzers.com signing out.